everyone. Welcome back to the Pro Sulum Learning Series. I'm Jenna, and today we're diving into something that, I think hits some nerve for a lot of business owners out there. We're talking about which SOPs you should document first, the ones that actually make you money. And joining me today is Kevin, who's basically seen it all when it comes to systematizing businesses. Kevin, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jenna. This is one of my favorite topics because, I see this mistake all the time. Business owners think they need to document everything, right? And they end up creating these massive 40-page documents that no one ever reads. And meanwhile, their business is still stuck because they haven't documented the stuff that actually matters.
Right, exactly. So let's set the stage here. If you're watching this, chances are you're feeling something, Maybe it's that nagging feeling that your business can't run without you, like you're the bottleneck in every decision, every process. Or maybe you need systems, but you're overwhelmed about where to even start.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Most business owners, they've been told, hey, you need SOPs, but nobody tells them which ones to do first. So they either freeze and do nothing, or they go crazy and try to document their entire business in a weekend. And both approaches, they fail.
So today we're gonna challenge some assumptions. We're going to talk about why most people get this wrong and, more importantly, what you should actually be documenting first if you want to see revenue impact fast. Kevin, where do most people mess this up?
Okay, so the biggest mistake I see is people document for convenience, not for revenue. They'll document how to order office supplies or how to format an email signature, stuff that makes them feel productive but doesn't move the needle at all.
Right, because it's easy to document.
Exactly. It's easy, it feels like progress, but 6 months later, they're still stuck in the day-to-day because they haven't freed up any of the revenue-generating activities. Look, there's research from 2025 showing that law firms with proper billing and collection SOPs, they saw 71% more revenue. 71%. That's not from documenting office supplies.
Wow, okay. So let's break this down. What's the framework you use with clients?
So I call it the Revenue-First SOP Framework, and it's got 3 questions you need to ask about any process before you document it. First, does this process directly generate revenue? Second, does this process happen repeatedly? And third, are you personally the bottleneck in this process?
Okay, so if a process hits all 3 of those,
If it hits all 3, that's your starting point. That's what you document first. Everything else can wait.
all right, so let's get specific. What are the actual processes that, tend to score high on all 3 of those questions?
Okay, so number one, and this is almost universal across industries, client onboarding. If you're the one doing client onboarding, you're creating a massive bottleneck. Every new client has to wait for you to have time, which means you're limiting how fast you can grow.
And that directly impacts revenue
Because you literally can't take on more clients than you can personally onboard. We had a financial services client. They went from 62 clients to 215 clients in 6 months after they documented and delegated their onboarding process. 6 months. That's the power of documenting a revenue-generating process.
that's insane. Okay, what else?
Sales follow-up. This is another huge one. Most business owners, they're great at the initial sales conversation, but then the follow-up gets inconsistent. They forget to follow up, or they do it late, or the messaging is all over the place depending on their mood that day.
Yeah, I've definitely been guilty of that.
We all have, but here's the thing. If you document your sales follow-up process, you can delegate it, and more importantly, you get consistent results. Studies from late 2025 show that businesses with documented sales processes close 28% more deals. That's just from being consistent.
So what does that look like in practice? What are you actually documenting?
So you document, okay, after an initial call, what happens? Do they get an email? What does that email say? When do you follow up again? What if they don't respond? You're basically creating a decision tree that someone else can follow, that gets the same results you would get.
Okay, that makes sense. What's the third big one?
Billing and collections. This is the one everybody avoids because it's uncomfortable, but it's literally how you get paid. If you don't have a documented process for invoicing, following up on late payments, handling payment disputes, you're leaving money on the table every single month.
And I bet a lot of business owners are doing this themselves because they don't trust anyone else with it.
Exactly, but that's why you document it. Once it's documented, you can train someone and then you can delegate it. And then you're not the bottleneck between work being done and money showing up in your account. Remember that law firm example I mentioned earlier? 71% more revenue just from getting this right.
Okay, so those are the big three: client onboarding, sales follow-up, billing, and collections. Are there industry-specific ones people should know about?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you're in customer service or support, your customer response process is huge. If you're in manufacturing or operations, your quality control process. If you're in content or marketing, your content creation workflow. The pattern is always the same though. Does it generate revenue? Does it repeat? Are you the bottleneck?
And if the answer is yes to all three, that's what you document first.
Yep, that's it.
Okay, so we've talked about what to document. Let's talk about what not to do. What are the mistakes you see people making over and over?
Oh man, okay, so the biggest one we already touched on, which is documenting for convenience instead of revenue. But the second biggest mistake is making your SOPs too perfect. Like people think they need to create this comprehensive manual with screenshots and flowcharts and like professional formatting.
And that's bad because?
Because it takes forever. And in the meantime, you're still doing everything yourself. Look, a simple checklist that someone can actually use today is worth more than a perfect manual you're still working on 6 months from now. We call it good enough to use, good enough to improve.
I like that. So what does that look like in practice?
So you pull out your phone, you record a 5-minute video of yourself doing the task. You talk through what you're doing and why. Then you, or better yet, someone else, watches that video and creates a simple bullet point list. That's your SOP. It took you 5 minutes. Now you can delegate that task forever.
And you can always make it better later.
Exactly. Like the VSA who's doing the task can add to it, refine it, make it better over time. But the key is you've got something usable immediately.
Okay, that's huge. What's another big mistake?
Trying to document everything at once. I see this all the time. Business owner gets motivated, they block off a weekend, they're like, I'm going to document my entire business. And by Sunday night, they're burned out, they've got 17 half-finished documents, and nothing actually gets delegated.
Yeah, that sounds exhausting just thinking about it.
Right? So instead, pick one process, document it, delegate it, get it working, then move to the next one. Momentum beats motivation every time.
I love that. Okay, so here's a contrarian question for you. What about all the operational stuff? Like, does any of that matter?
Yes and no. So here's the thing. Operational stuff matters for running your business, but it doesn't matter for making money. If you're trying to scale, if you're trying to grow, you need to focus on revenue-generating processes first. Once those are documented and delegated, then you can circle back to operations.
So it's not that operational SOPs are bad, it's just...
It's just that they're not urgent. Like, if you document your operational stuff, but you're still doing all the client onboarding yourself, you haven't solved your bottleneck problem. You're just rearranging deck chairs on the Titanic, you know?
That's a great analogy. Okay, so let's say someone's watching this and they're thinking, okay, I get it. I need to document revenue-generating processes first. What's stopping them? Like, why don't more people do this?
Honestly, two things. One, they don't believe anyone else can do it as well as they can. And two, they don't have time to document because they're too busy doing everything themselves. It's like, the classic catch-22.
So how do you break out of that?
You have to make the time. Or, and this is where Sulum comes in, you work with someone who documents the processes while doing the work. So you're not choosing between documenting and executing. You're doing both at the same time.
Okay, so let's talk about that, because I think this is where a lot of business owners are right now. They get the concept, they understand they need systems, but they're stuck in the day-to-day. Like, how does Sulum actually solve this problem?
Yeah, so our virtual systems architects, or VSAs, they're different from regular virtual assistants in one key way. They document what they do as they do it. So you're not stopping work to create systems. The systems get created while the work is happening.
So give me a concrete example. Like, let's say I'm a business owner and my client onboarding is a mess. What would that look like?
Okay, so first, you'd record yourself doing a client onboarding just once. You do it like you normally would, but you're talking through it on video. Okay, first I send this email, then I schedule this call, then I set up their account here. Just narrating what you do.
So that's like 5, 10 minutes max?
Usually, yeah. Then your VSA watches that video and they create an SOP from it, like a real document with all the steps, screenshots, decision points. Then they start doing the onboarding themselves using that SOP, and they refine it as they go. So you recorded one video, and now client onboarding is off your plate forever.
And this works across different industries?
Oh, yeah, we've worked with over 40 industries: financial services, restaurants, franchises, manufacturing, you name it. We had a restaurant operator running a $15 million operation, and a single VSA was managing inventory, vendor relationships, and staff scheduling, all documented, all systematized.
That's incredible. And what about the cost? Because I know a lot of business owners are thinking, okay, this sounds great, but can I afford it?
So VSAs are roughly half the cost of an in-house hire. And here's the thing, you're not just getting the labor, you're getting the systems architecture. So when you compare it to hiring someone local, paying benefits, dealing with turnover, the VSA model just makes more financial sense. Plus, our retention rate is 97% after 1 year, which is like basically unheard of in this industry.
Wow, okay, so let's bring this home. If someone's watching this right now and they're feeling that pain we talked about at the beginning, they're the bottleneck, they can't scale, everything lives in their head, what should they do next?
Honestly, the first step is just awareness. Like if you're watching this and you're nodding along, you already know you have a problem. The question is, are you going to keep doing what you're doing and hope it gets better, or are you going to take action?
And taking action looks like.
It looks like booking a discovery call. No pressure, no sales pitch, just a conversation about where your business is and where you want it to go. We'll talk about which processes are keeping you stuck, and we'll show you how a VSA could document and delegate those processes so you can actually scale.
And that discovery call is free, right?
Yeah, totally free. Look, we've been doing this long enough to know within about 15 minutes whether someone's a good fit, and if you're not, we'll tell you. We're not here to waste your time or ours. But if you are a good fit, we can map out exactly what it would look like to systemize your revenue-generating processes and get you out of the day-to-day grind.
I love that. So if you're watching this and this resonated with you, the link is in the description below. Book a discovery call, have that conversation, see if a VSA is the right fit for your business. No obligation, just information and a clear path forward.
And honestly, Jenna, even if someone doesn't end up working with us, just having that conversation, just getting clear on which processes are your bottlenecks, that alone is valuable. Like you'll leave that call knowing exactly what you need to systemize, whether you do it with us or on your own.
That's a great point. All right, so to recap everything we covered today, number 1, don't document for convenience, document for revenue. Number 2, focus on processes that are revenue generating, repetitive, and where you're the bottleneck. Number 3, client onboarding, sales follow-up, and billing and collections are your high impact starting points. And number 4, good enough to use is better than perfect but incomplete.
And don't try to do it all at once. Pick one process, document it, delegate it, then move to the next one. Momentum beats motivation.
Love it. All right, that's going to wrap up today's lesson. If you got value from this, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, click the link below to book your discovery call if you're ready to explore working with a VSA, and we'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.
Thanks,